My name is Dan Blanchard. I'm the CEO, owner, and captain of the company at UnCruise Adventures, a small adventure slash expedition cruise company based in Juneau, Alaska for the last 27 years. How could I be the age I am and be in business for 27 years? I guess I started when I was 10. But anyway, today I've got a person I appreciate a lot because she represents something in my town here in Juneau that is a growing concern, not only for residents, but people visiting, and that is Eaglecrest Ski Resort. Eaglecrest is 15 minutes from my home on Douglas Island. Kristen Strom represents Eaglecrest as the marketing manager. And since UnCruise Adventures is starting out next year in February of 2024, we're going to have our first ever and perhaps the world's first ever ski trip from a boat. The safari endeavor will be in port for a couple, 3 days, depending on conditions, and visiting Eaglecrest Ski Resort. I honestly believe this is the first on the planet, Kristen. And have you ever dealt with this kind of thing before?
No way. But no, it's going to be really exciting. That sounds like the trip of a lifetime. So how could you not be excited to do something like this?
Well, and as we'll go through when we talk over Eaglecrest, the fact that Eaglecrest is about 20 minutes from where the boat ties up and has, cross-country trails and all the great stuff. We'll get into of course, the fact that you're adding a tram or gondola in the future just makes it right. And our guests will visit Glacier Bay and Tracy Arm and Endicott as part of the trip in the middle of winter, which is pretty exciting. But you know what? We're here to talk about you and how you got into this. So I am really quick. Even though we've met, I don't know you well. And I would love to know how you got into this career in travel and adventure, and specifically at Eaglecrest. How did you end up landing here?
Yeah, it's been quite the crazy road to getting here, but I'm just so happy to be here in Juneau, living downtown and skiing Eaglecrest and working at a place like Eaglecrest. It's really special, but the dream has always been to ski as much as possible, to experience different ski areas and different ski culture, not just in the US, but around the world. That really started with an internship to a company called Snowbrains, which is a new ski industry news release source. And I started out there as an intern and then worked my way up to a staff writer and got to interview, experience different ski areas. And that's ultimately how I discovered Eaglecrest. Was my contract last winter through Snowbrains. And I visited here in March, skied Eaglecrest for a week. I couldn't believe that everything that was said was true about it. The island experience, the big mountain terrain, small local feel, the accessibility, truly all of it. I was like, this place, whatever. It won't be as good as they all say it is. But I got here and was just blown away that a place like this still exists out here in the world, and let alone Juneau, Alaska. I quickly packed up my life and moved here a month later and got to Juneau in April. I knew the marketing position was becoming available, but it wasn't guaranteed yet. So I came, did a big interview process, and ultimately ended up starting the job in June. So it's been quite the crazy whirlwind experience, but it's been amazing.
Yeah, well, and thank you for coming to town. We love having you here. And I hope that the arms have just received you so well in Juneau. And I think one of the things that's interesting to me is that you're right. Eaglecrest is a local mountain, but it has a resort feel to it that's really nice. Nice steeps, nice flats. And I think what's unique about Eaglecrest is it is one on an island. How many ski resorts are on an island that we drive across the bridge from Juneau on? And the other thing is that the people of Juneau own this resort. And to me, do you find that different working with a Juneau owned rather than a private resort?
Yeah, it's one of great parts about the mountain is you really have that full community, passionate, full community behind you all the time. And that's what makes my job so great, is that I get to be out there and engaging with the community all the time, hearing what people are liking, what people aren't liking, and just ultimately always having, friends and people up there that know you, support you, love this place, have always skied it, and ultimately are amazing skiers and riders too. You're totally right on the mark there. It's really got some terrain for all types of skiers. And I think that's what really brings it all together. Just having that small kind of locals community feel, but all sorts of different types of terrain.
Yeah, for sure. I just love that. I'm 63 but I still ski like the devil. I ski as hard as I can. You wouldn't think it if you actually saw me on my boards. But,
I love that.
But the thing about Eaglecrest is it's got everything from, really soft terrain down low, easy to, hiking up to the ridge is one of my favorite things to do. It's truly something else. But I'm kind of curious, your role as the marketing director for Eaglecrest, and Eaglecrest is a big employer in town during the winter months, and even in the summer, it's growing. Mm-hmm. But tell me, what's a day in the life of an Eaglecrest marketing director look like?
Well, let me start by saying no 2 days are ever the same at Eaglecrest. And I don't think I'm the only one to say that who works up there. But that's one of the best parts about it, is it's always changing. You never really know where your day is going to go when it first starts out, but you have the structure day to day. My position is kind of a special one because it is so dynamic winter to summer. My day to day really consists of putting out the conditions and mountain report every morning. We update that twice. And then also I update the websites and social media outlets. In the winter, I'll write my conditions report, and then I'll ultimately try to get out there to ski a lap or two before the second one comes out at 9 a.m. and make sure what I'm writing is accurate, is true. We know how conditions change in Juneau. It's just it'll say one thing, be completely different. It's so different from what it is in town. So it's super important for me to be reporting accurate, honest conditions. So I'll get out and do that, and then ultimately try to stay out there, take pictures if it's a nice day, ski with the locals for a little bit, and then head back to the office, work on events, ads, whatever needs to be worked on. But it's so important for our staff to be able to get out there every day and ski a lap or two. During the summer, take a mountain bike lap. We really try to support that and make sure that happens.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm attracted to your lifestyle.
I feel so lucky. It's truly one of the best jobs up there for sure.
Well, before I started UnCruise Adventures, one of the things on my list was a small resort in Washington State that was for sale. And I ended up not doing that and starting, and I think for the right reasons, starting a small cruise company. But I get what you're putting down. So, what we've talked a little bit about, obviously the downhill skiing and riding and such, but what are some of the other kind of popular activities at Eaglecrest, both winter and summer?
Yeah, so you're totally correct with the downhill skiing. We have a great terrain for that, really enthusiastic adventure person who wants to go ski big. But we also have a great learners slope area and lesson program with instructors and a full fleet of instructors to really make that experience individualized and to work with you. But we also have miles of Nordic trail around Eaglecrest. We have a groom for both classic and skate Nordic skiing. So yes. It's awesome. And they are so enthusiastic and out there every day. I love to see it. You'll be over on Black Bear and you'll see the Nordic folk ripping by on the trail. And it's oh my gosh, they're not on downhill skis.
Well, Black Bear is the name of one of our chairlifts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is a cool thing. And the Juneau Nordic Club is really, they're very active, I found.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How many miles of trails do you feel we have up there?
Oh man, don't hold me to it, but at least 2 to 4, depending on which loop you're doing.
Yeah. And I think there's also access to other trails outside the resort area, which, add to that substantially.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm so impressed by them every day. They are just getting after it. And they're so friendly too when they ski by. But
Yeah.
so we have that for anybody who's interested in Nordic skiing. And we also have snowshoe trails around Eaglecrest. There's quite a wide variety from, the Mount Ben Stewart side of Eaglecrest behind the Learner's Hill, up to the ridge or by Mount Troy out that area. But we also just have, a couple of warming cabins on the hill that people can snowshoe in and out from, kind of get that little experience as well. I think that's another thing that makes Juneau so unique is the full cabin rental system. And we're really lucky that we get to be a part of it at a ski hill.
Yeah, it is. It's something you don't always see
Never.
at ski resorts. Yeah. Well, it's, I've always found that the activities that are available at Eaglecrest are amazing. And, but for so long, and some people may remember this that are listening, for so long, we weren't allowed to have a bar at the mountain. And what was it? Was it 2 years ago that, right at the start of the pandemic, maybe, that we were able to add alcoholic beverages to the mountain, which was cool.
Yeah, just adding to that ski area experience. The bar is one of those things that's just grandfathered into every ski area, whether you're ready for it or not.
True. Well, and that can be at the mountain or in town.
That's right. Or in the parking lot.
Yeah, in the parking lot. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but, one of the big pluses for anybody visiting Juneau is just how close that mountain is to town. I mean, it's just literally 15 or 20 minutes from downtown. It makes the whole skate skiing and Nordic, and myself and other friends oftentimes will just go up and ski a few laps in the morning and go to work. And but for the visitor, I'm curious what people can expect when they visit not only Eaglecrest, but Juneau, maybe a little bit about the ski town. And I'm curious, since you're relatively new to Juneau, what are the things that you really cherish about the Juneau experience and how it fits with Eaglecrest?
I think you said it. It's 15, 20 minutes from downtown Juneau. It's really not ever, busy traffic or a busy full parking lot or long lift lines. So it's so unique in that you can take your time in the morning and enjoy your vacation. And there's really no rush to get up there for any of, those said reasons or for fresh lines or anything like that. It's so unique in that you can take your time, have a good breakfast in the morning, get up there at 11 or noon and still have a full day of skiing ahead of you. And you're not, missing out on fresh lines because there will always be somewhere. There'll always be a parking spot available. It's the little things like that make Eaglecrest so special. But just that accessibility to downtown too. You can be, at the Island Pub or Devil's Club or wherever in 15, 20 minutes and see all the same people that you just saw in the parking lot or in the lift lines. And they're all still in their gear and you're all just celebrating a great day together. And that's really, really special.
I like to say that Juneau definitely puts on its ski town cap during the winter. I just love sometimes having a drink at the bar at the mountain or going down and having a lunch in one of our pubs, which we have many of. And of course, we have a lot in Juneau that people don't really realize is there all winter long, not just in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the winter atmosphere and sense of community is so alive and well here, especially when Eaglecrest is operating and it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People are always out and about and happy to talk about the day and kind of celebrate all together. Even though, there are so many options, it feels still like a very good sense of community.
Yeah. So I'm curious from your marketing perspective, what are some of the things you do to stay up to date on industry trends and changes in adventure and tourism and all that kind of thing?
It's such a crazy game to try to stay up to date. And I mean, especially social media, it's just ever changing and you can never really know what's going to do well and what's not going to. But really, I just try to view it as informing people on what's new, what's happening at the mountain, but also what makes us different from our other partner ski areas or, other resorts that are not too far away, but a lot bigger from us, and just how Eaglecrest differs. We have so many reciprocal pass agreements and partners, and the accessibility is truly there. So really trying to share that more and just keep it authentic. I think we never want to change to be something different than our local beloved community ski area. And that's the way that we intend on keeping it. It'll never be anything crazy, corporate, veil. Thank goodness for all of that, because we just want to keep showing the people having a good time and make sure that everybody's staying up to date. So
keeping it local, keeping the vibe. I mean, that's why people come to Alaska anyway. They don't come to Alaska to experience another big corporate property, even in tourism, outside of Eaglecrest. And just to make it clear for everyone listening, you can grab an airliner, arrive, maybe leave Seattle or Anchorage or wherever, arrive before a certain time each morning and ski for free all day. I mean, that is so cool. And for our guests that are coming on our trips, they could come in on Friday, ski all day for free, and then overnight in the hotel aboard the boat on Saturday. So, I mean, it's a way of guests getting and visitors to Juneau getting really a tremendous benefit. And from the airport, I'm just guessing that, what are we, maybe a half an hour, 40 minutes tops to the resort.
Yeah. And you're taking that early morning or even midday flight, and you're in at 9 a.m. and you can be up at Eaglecrest by 10, and it's a full day of skiing.
Did you all just hear that?
Yeah.
Free day of skiing by just coming in on the morning or midday flight. I think that is over the top.
It's unreal.
I'm just so excited about this. And I know I've had my family, my kids come up and occasionally take advantage of that. And they just love it. Of course, the challenge is I pick them up at the airport and I hardly get to say hi to them because they're right on the mountain ripping it with me. And generally means we're separate doing our own thing, right?
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
You got to get out there.
No, I'm trying to keep up with a 30-year-old when I'm 63, they're keeping me young.
I'm sure you do just fine.
I like to think so. I'll be doing this for a long time, I'll tell you. Are there any tricks to getting the most out of an adventure in Juneau that you could talk about? I mean, we've talked about, the obvious airline thing and the different tickets that go over. But are there any other tips you would give folks that are traveling? I mean, I think Fresh Tracks is that Wednesday, yeah?
Powder Wednesdays? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you said it truly. We never really get too crowded, even on weekends with fresh powder. When all 4 lifts are running, we never really have a lift line. But if you come midweek, you really will get to experience that untracked powder every time you take the lift up, and that really no rush kind of feel. You're able to enjoy your morning, just take your time. Don't rush it. Don't be stressed out to get to the hill or get your fresh tracks, because it will be there as the day goes on. And, just spend time taking it all in too. Have that really moment of quiet out on the ridge or out, East Bowl, and just really take it all in where you're at, because you get overwhelmed by the views and just how wonderful it all is. I think just really honing in on the experience itself and how fortunate we are to use that piece of land is really awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And, part of, what we're doing in our Winter Sports and Northern Lights trip, which we get to start in February 2024, is we're generally going to be on the mountain Wednesday and Thursday. But we've also designed the itinerary to try to take advantage if we have a wind event and need to move the boat someplace else and do the ski day a different day. We're offering that flexibility. Mm-hmm. But I think the fun thing for guests to know that some of the details are still being worked out, but whether you bring your own gear, we'll store it for you, get it up to the mountain for you, or if you're renting, we're working with you folks to have rental gear available, which is it included in the cost of the trip, which is cool. And what we're trying to do is, just like you shared about the airline trip and just going right to the mountain, we're trying to make things as seamless as we can, which in my mind is kind of a thing that Eaglecrest has had for a long time. I mean, you guys have had buses running from in town for both crew and skiers for, I think, since almost inception. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just makes it so much easier. So put this picture in your mind's eye. You're traveling to Juneau for your first time to go on an outdoor winter travel. Now, what are some of the travel essentials that when you think about Juneau and you think about the mountain, is there anything different that you would toss in there? Like, I should bring this, or I should plan on that, or, kind of speaking not only of the mountain, but Juneau as a whole.
I would say first and foremost for the mountain, extra socks and extra gloves. It'll make your life so much better to have that extra just layer of support, and really bringing your waterproof gear too, because Eaglecrest is close to sea level, and we really kind of ride that line between wintry mixed precipitation and snow precipitation. So just always being prepared for what the forecast may hold or what it may not hold. It just makes your trip a whole lot better to experience. But yeah, I would say extra socks and toe warmers maybe, and then extra gloves, your waterproof gear, your extra tough boots.
I love the extra tough boots. It's the Alaska sneaker. So any of you who come to Juneau and you're wearing extra toughs, you are automatically in the game, as far as I'm concerned.
You'll avoid the visiting questions if you're
that's right. You're just a local.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of our thing is that we're not only coming up for the winter sports, but we're also looking for northern lights. Have you had any personal experience with northern lights recently?
Yeah. Actually, Eaglecrest is one of the best places to be when they go off. One night at a cabin at Hilda Dam up there, the sky was just lighting up, and it is unreal. And I've never experienced anything like it. And you don't really know that it's actually real and happening until you actually see it. And it's just unlike anything else.
I am amazed. And I've probably sat with hundreds of Northern Light shows, but each one is so different. And we moved over to Douglas about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I'm down by Lawson Creek, and we look over the city of Juneau, and right on the water. And one of the things that I find amazing is there's what your eye sees, but then the camera, when you actually shoot pictures, sometimes you get other colors that your eye doesn't pick. Did you notice that too?
And on your iPhone, no less.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, it's amazing. For instance, you barely see some of the reds with the human eye, but the camera lens brings the reds out when they're there. It just always amazes me the difference and how the camera tends to pick up the green a little bit more too. But it's a wonderful experience. I could sit here and talk about Eaglecrest and Juneau.
Me too, Jan, until the end of time.
Oh my gosh. And even though I'm talking about bringing guests to Juneau during the winter and we're going to have a ball, the good thing is it's still a small number of people that are going to be able to experience not only what Eaglecrest, a local great mountain's like, but be able to experience the real Juneau in winter. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's now a bunch of old ski chairs from Eaglecrest that have been mounted downtown. There's 6 locations that start to feel like a ski town. But
that's right.
I'm probably could just go crazy here.
Don't forget it too. It's a friendly reminder when people are out and about that, oh yeah, Eaglecrest is just right over there.
We're a ski town during the winter.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you're a pretty energetic, I would say, open personality and such. Can you share, maybe some travel stories in general, whether it involves Eaglecrest or anywhere around the world? Just, the group that's listening to this are travelers that are seeking, not industrial tourism, but authentic adventure travel wherever they go. Can you share any stories that might fit it or might enlighten us about you?
The best type of experience I've had traveling has, never been the nicest, hotel or resort or rental car or town or anything like that. It's always about the experience and where you're skiing, the company you have, what you're doing. I will share pre-pandemic, I went to Lake Tahoe to visit my younger brother in college, and we all have been seeing Tahoe's been getting insane storms and crazy powder. And that this was not one of those times. This was the snow was lacking for sure. And they were making do with what they had, but we didn't want to buy ski passes. We were really just trying to be, as conservative spending wise as we could. I was right out of college, so I was just trying to visit my younger brother and just kind of ski around the rim. And we didn't have any backcountry gear, so we booted up the Tahoe Ridge, like we found the end of a cul-de-sac and just like started hiking up the ridge. And it was god awful snow, Dan, just heavy snowpack underneath. I wouldn't even say it was powder underneath. It was just some of the worst conditions I've ever experienced, but we just had so much fun being out there in the sun and looking at the lake. And the ski down was so terrible every time, but we just had the best time in our ski boots, just being out there in nature, experiencing it, being amongst like the trees and the wind and away from town is so nice. And I feel like that's something that's going away more and more these days. And that's what makes Eaglecrest so special too, are those moments of peace and quiet and no noise in the background, just you being out in nature. And that's always my favorite part of the experience.
And it clears the cobwebs out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, I'm telling you, talk about, in times that we've been through during the pandemic, I think nature and the peace that it brings to us has saw many of us through difficult times. And I am just a believer in good rock and roll, loving your life, and wild nature. Those three things put together, it's hard not to succeed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, as we wrap up, anything new happening? I mean, there's the G word that I know is going on.
What?
What's going on with the gondola?
Yeah, it's exciting. Well, the gondola is here. It's in the lower Nordic parking lot. It's unloaded, and installation will be beginning this summer. And will hopefully be operational, if not by the end of this summer, by summer 2024. And this is really exciting for us, especially in years like this where our snowpack has been almost there, but not quite at the base. So we're pushed a little bit back in time for opening, but really to have that, mid-mountain up experience there will be awesome. But gondola is here, ready or not.
I am so excited about that.
And we're talking, mountain biking, skiing, Nordic skiing, and just so many other adventures to come with it. It's gonna be fun.
I know that, a big press within our town has been to get more use out of Eaglecrest during the main visitor season. And, having the mountain biking, in the past, we've had zip lines. And is there any news on zip lines at all?
Hopefully coming back this summer. Zipline tour was not in operation this last summer, I believe, due to staff, but it should be back going again this year from what we've heard. But just to have all those kind of different adventures up there during the summer will really help pay for, our wintertime operations and continue to give locals that good experience at Eaglecrest with that extra summer boost behind us.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think for visitors, having that gondola, whether they're biking or really going up to visit trails, it just, the scenery is so amazing. And the end of the springtime, and spring meaning really into June, when we start getting our wildflowers going. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's gorgeous up there. It's unreal.
So how can anybody interested in finding out about Eaglecrest, what's the best way to find you on social media and email and phone and all that stuff?
SkiEaglecrest.com is our website. That's where we update all our events, conditions, kind of our local news, what's happening there. And then on our socials, we're at Ski Eaglecrest on Instagram and just Eaglecrest Ski Area on Facebook. We're also on YouTube too. We have a great YouTube channel. We have a amazing videographer who's constantly uploading new stuff on there. So definitely go check us out on YouTube and really get a feel for our community.
Yeah, I think that's an easy way to contact you. I would suggest people follow you on YouTube and all those other sources, because if you're an outdoor winter enthusiast, you need to learn about Eaglecrest. Well, anything in closing that you want to add or say to our followers here?
Thanks for having me. We're really excited for this movement forward with the winter tour and adventure. I think just spreading the love for UnCruise and Eaglecrest and moving things forward is just really exciting for us. We're super stoked about this.
Yeah, your hometown mountain, your hometown small ship line.
That's right.
Great combination. Small business, go, go, go.
Big terrain.
Big terrain. Small business, big terrain, big ocean, big inside passage. Talk about harmony.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
that was off the cuff, but I like it.
Oh, thanks,
well,
Dan.
Thank you very much, Kristen. We'll look forward to crossing paths, talking to you before we get up there, and enjoying the time.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the hill soon too.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
all
awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Well, to wrap up the winter sports and Northern Lights trip, I just want to share you as a local Juneauite, and all of you that are listening know that if you can't tell, I'm very excited about bringing you to my home during the winter. And the town-owned Eaglecrest Ski Resort is looking forward to welcoming you. I hope you'll take advantage of this opportunity. We only operate it 6 weeks every year aboard the Safari Endeavor, and it is guaranteed to be a very different type of trip than you may be used to, a waterborne ski trip where you can be on top of an island and see the beauty of the inside passage. And when it clears up, Northern Lights. Woohoo! We hope for that. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you listening to this podcast. Thank Kristen for joining us. And I just want to say thanks for joining No Ordinary Adventure with me, Dan Blanchard, the CEO, owner, and chief captain of UnCruise Adventures. Thank you and good day.